Let me press you on the issue of principle. Why should judges choose judges? If you see international jurisprudence, there are many countries where it's not only judges who are picking judges. In some countries it's an out-and-out political decision. In some countries it's a mix. Why do you think that the system of collegium in the way that it is the best way for judges to be chosen, which is what the Chief Justice thinks, and what changes and improvements do you suggest?
2 or 3 answers. You forget that the political class was 99+% aligned to the fact that this must change. It is ironical that this government's repeated onslaughts and attacks and ham-handed manner of doing those attacks has actually united the entire non-NDA political spectrum against that rare unanimity earlier in favor of the NJC. Point 1. Is that not ironical? 2. I agree with you that it requires some relook, and the NJAC was nothing but a broader based collegium, namely judges plus non-judges in a broader based basis appoint judges. However, if, as they say, the Supreme Court is right because it is final, it is not final because it is right. If the Supreme Court has rightly or wrongly given a decision, what is the course open to you? It's obvious answer, isn't it? You can try and remove the basis of that judgment. You can try and have a constitutional amendment. You can try and generate political consensus.
Why do you think that's not being done? Given the fact that the government has a brute majority and can cobble together some support from allies to achieve a 2/3 majority, and given the kind of public comments the law minister has made and clearly reflecting the position within the government, why do you think they're not doing that?
Exactly. Again, part of the answer is hidden in your question. It is not being done because A, this government is ham-handed and crude in many of these things. B, it is displaying a control freak approach. C, it is not bothered about consensus, talks, reaching out, getting a broad general agreement, convergence. It is interested in a brute show of strength, sniping, daily sniping. Today I can count at least 10 or 20 sniping events since this was first raised. This is the approach of this government. And that is not the way you can deal with even the executive or the legislature, much less the judiciary. That's why I said the irony you have here. You had a 100%, near 100% consensus, which you have converted into a complete opposition. That's been your achievement by your ham-handed crude methods.
You said you'd watched that session with the Chief Justice of India. What did you think of it? As a top lawyer looking at it from the outside, what were your impressions, Dr. Singhvi?
Well, first and foremost, I thought that you are now entitled to start studying for and get a law degree. You're getting good in dealing with hardcore law. But secondly, I think the Chief Justice in that came out rather well, because he handled those questions, and they were by no means always easy questions. They were by no means always soft questions. He handled them with aplomb and grace. Secondly, I think there was a coherence, a continuity and a flow to the conversation, which was very, very impressive. Thirdly, I think there was sincerity. He tried to be as honest and upfront as possible. And fourthly, I think there was also moderation while being sincere and upfront. For example, your law minister question could have had a very different, but what's the point? You know, 2 people fighting and everybody else will be laughing. So I think on the whole, the Chief Justice came out far, far more dignified, balanced, and in a sense, a sober equilibrium level person and institution than some of those who really attack this in a more ham-handed manner, that too on your show and earlier.
Okay, so you've come out strong, asking for the government to either bring in a constitutional amendment and stop the sniping because it cannot continue in this fashion, or let the current system continue because that's what the Supreme Court in its wisdom has decided.
And stop making these comments about ex-judges. Stop thinking that everybody who disagrees with you is an anti-national. Stop overawing and kind of pressurizing. I would use the word blackmail, but also stop obstructing. What is happening now, Rahul, is you do this, otherwise I will do that. That's not the way it can function. See the number of cases where second recommendations and reiterations by the judiciary are still pending. There can't be one under the existing law, but there are many.